So, hello, yuriko Discord, or whoever else idiot watches this. I'm completely useless today because I didn't get a lot of hours of sleep. Weird flex, had to play the finals so couldn't sleep. But yeah, so I might as well thought I do a tournament recap because I think my brain is able to do maybe this. So yeah, no further ado, let's go game 1. So they use a newly developed tournament software because they have like a feud with Zane and Command Tower. So yeah, this software has to be tested. So there was some logistical issues. One issue was that we accidentally started the first game without being able to start, which like I don't know, I feel like is kind of like, I don't know, why would you need to have all players have the same time in the round if the difference is 2 minutes? But they said we start. So here actually the Lasher in the first game before the restart had a turn to win, and we were talking about because we assumed it would be restarted. And they were like, do you have a counter spell? And I was like, no, I ain't got shit. I think I might have shown them the Limb Duels vault. Yeah, so here we are. I don't know, yeah, but I showed them, yeah, my idea for the sand, but it doesn't matter because this game wasn't played, was the Limb Duels vault for either Neurot or Tali clone, and then we go from there. So then we restarted, and the judge initially was like, no, you don't need to restart, which of course is really bad because we now know that this guy had a turn to win. And so we were like, guys, we just talked about the game and I revealed to them that they didn't have interaction. And they said, well, I would have gone for it because their hand sucks otherwise, other than having a turn to win. If you don't know Lasher, me neither, I'm just pretending I do. This apparently is a turn to win. I don't fucking know. Probably. But then the judge reversed the decision and we restart the game. Which I think once the judge says everyone restart the game, there shouldn't be double standards. But I still think, like, why do you have to restart the game? Like, give the poor control decks that don't win on turn 2. Oh, I guess that's kind of funny, given how the semifinals went, but let's just give them 2 minutes extra round time. Why do you have to restart the game? But that means, like, the Lasher player was really tight, because a Lasher doesn't get turn to win every game, like, it's Rockside. But yeah, so now let's go into actual game 1. So Alessia is first, then Natalie, then me, then Timnajeska. So I settled on this hand. Wait, can you see my first 7? So I just mulliganed an unplayable 1-lander and 0-lander. And then I kept this hand. Why? I hate stickers. No, I didn't keep this hand. I think I mulliganed this one too, yeah. Which, like, you can argue for keeping this, but I was like, in this pot, like, we have Madu Gruul. This game is not gonna last long, so you have to keep a good hand. And then I kept this hand, which I'm not sure about, because it doesn't interact. And I'm 3rd seed, so I should have definitely lost this game. But my thought process was, what is my 5 gonna do? So this hand at least has a Mana Crypt, and Mana Crypt is just a good card, so you generally really just have a lot of good top decks you can draw, like you can draw Orochi's Weaver, you can draw like a tutor into a stacks piece. Like, Mana Crypt is a good accelerator, and in a mid-range pot this hand is really good. And maybe I can get a Consphinx if I get lucky. And maybe I just hold up the Brainstorm. So that was my thought process going into this. I don't know, maybe I should have just sealed my fate and gone to 5. But the thing is, usually the game of chicken that's between like these decks and blue decks is that the Timna deck is like, okay, this blue deck is gonna mull for hard interaction, so I'm just gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna be a Timna deck. Which, this totally didn't happen, they just kept Entomb Reanimate. But what you're kind of gambling on with this hand is that they think that they need to grind, because it's just the first person who wins just gets counted by me. So then I get to grind, and then you sometimes can sneak in a win. But yeah, not sure. So what happened in this game was that Tali kept a really trash hand, which is this, no just kidding, which is a turn to Tali, and then for their draw for turn, they got a Jewel Lotus, which means they have a turn 1 Tali. So whenever I play Italy, my flips are garbage. But they hit Invasion of Icoria, Razorcast, Silence, and Deadly Relic. Amazing. So here's where Alessia being mad at it comes in, because Alessia was still really mad of getting denied their turn to win last game. So they could have Deadly Relic at least the Italy to give us like a little more chance, but they passed on it. It's not Italy at Razorcast. I, like a god, top deck the Rhystic Study, like I said, that's why Mana Crypt is good. And we, as a table, are just all like, yeah, we guys, let's all feed this Rhystic so I can draw into interaction, which is great for me. Italy plays a Lumberjack and passes. And they sacrificed it. I didn't know what they were getting. I had the option to snuff out the entire time, but I wasn't sure if I should do it, because maybe I should save it for Teemo Sabertooth or Dockside, because my thought process was if I snuff out the Italy, they're just gonna sacrifice 2 as a cat. So the turn goes around once more. If I would draw a second blue source, this would have been sick, because I can Sakashima Student in Italy. And then maybe if the odds are in my favor and I get mana, I can saw in half the Italy, and that would have been a really sweet way to win the game. But I only draw black lands, maybe. It's also fault of my greedy mana base. So I decide on playing this Wingcrafter because it technically leaves me up to Flare of the Nile, although I technically see less cards with Brainstorm. But now if it gets back to my turn, I can actually Sakashima Student for an Italy, and with the third land drop actually saw in half. So if it gets back to me, then I'm really well set up. So they all feed my Rhystic Study. Here I actually messed up a little bit, because so there was a Bowmaster casted in response to me feeding, and I drew a Vamp Tutor on my first draw, and I blanked and passed on it, actually. So I didn't tutor for interaction, instead now I have a Vamp Tutor sitting in my hand. Which, like, that was pretty idiotic, but that's life. So now I have this Vamp Tutor sitting in my hand. Luckily Toadie has another spell, so now I can Vamp Tutor. Here I'm also not sure what I should have gotten, because I don't have any removal spell that hits Razorcast here, because this deck doesn't run Dismember, which actually before the tournament I was debating whether I should run Dismember, but Dismember also doesn't kill it. What am I talking about? So I ended up getting Force of Will, which is the best choice, I think, but I'm not sure. And also this Consecrated thing is useless. So now the Bowmaster pings my Wingcrafter, and I, like a complete idiot, forgot to tell them, well, I have land of Denial in my deck. And with that argument would have been great, because then maybe on my turn I can win with this and Sakashima Student. But alas, my Wingcrafter dies, so if I would draw Flare of the Nile here, get punished, and the Italy, because they didn't have enough good cards, top deck the Dockside. So then they play Dockside, make a bunch of mana, sacrifice it to Italy, get a Food Chain, attack, sacrifice it for Squee, which I disagree how exactly they played it, because they kind of forgot about the Rhystic Studies, which is like a common theme. But they got this thing, and then they put the Food Chain on the stack, and I was like, do I snuff out here? And the table was telling me yes, and I was like, I don't think I need to snuff out here, because they just sacrifice it to Razorcast. Which I guess that was wrong, because they had the SWAT, which I didn't know. I didn't think they would tutor for SWAT, because they could have just tutored for like Veil. But I ended up Force of Willing, and then they swatted, and yeah, that was probably a misplay. But I think it doesn't really matter. I think else they just sacrifice the treasure, get Veil, and then they sacrifice Razorcast, and you know, do the entire thing. Because once also they have Veil, I don't have any outs really, except drawing cards. So then they went Food Chain, they sacrificed, they hit Helka. Oh yeah, here's another thing. So here they presented an infinite loop, which, like, technically this infinite loop is gonna kill them, because I draw infinite of Rhystic Study, and I draw 21 of Rhystic Study, and Kimmery dies. But I maybe could have called a judge to angle shoot them that way, because they said I'm gonna present an infinite loop. But I'm not sure how that would have resolved, and it's kind of not a nice way to play Magic. But maybe that would have just given me the win by drawing 21 cards. Although I probably wouldn't have won because then Ondas is like, yeah, Pico, we're gonna draw, because as Ondas you're never just letting me draw 21 cards and untap. That's ridiculous. So maybe that would have been out to a draw. But like this, they were like, okay, well, then let's play this out normally. And then they cast an Italy, and all of the Italy flips so far were really good. Like their first Italy flip, so their second Italy flip was really bad. It was, I think it was a Limb Duel's fault for me, right? Yeah. So they got a Limb Duel's fault for me. I don't know if the replay shows it. No, the replay shows it pretty badly. But anyways, their first flip was Limb Duel's fault, amazing. They got Force of Vigor on top, they killed my Mystic Study, and they won with Food Chain. So, yes, 0-1. Maybe could have played this game a little better, but honestly, like, hitting Silence into Razorcast is like a bit disgusting too. So yeah, maybe. So then we tried to make like a 72-person pot with Hobbit, which was fun, because the tournament software didn't work. But yeah, we didn't quite manage to get the lobby full. But yeah, pretty cool. Wait, where is it? Where? So yeah, pretty close. I think we could have started at least an 18-player game. So yeah, maybe Hobbit should have done it only like 18 players, because not all 72 players were listening. Anyways, after the tournament software got fixed, which congrats to them, patch fixing tournament software is not fun, and they definitely get better at it every time. Game 2. So here I kept a real nice 7, so that was really good. Like you see turn order, I think TNK was first, no, Italy was first. So what happens here, I have the decision between turn 2 ninjas, I have Sakashimas in case there's a dockside, oh I play against 3 red decks, how great. And Italy is notorious for doing green to the dockside Italy, so I was just like, thanks deck, mana crypt broken. And yeah, we start the game. So they play mana, I top deck more. They wander like a champ. Turn on Stella is a bit scary, I'd say, but I don't know. I couldn't do anything about it, so I didn't really think about whether it's scary or not. Then I do turn to Nashi, and I hit a fish immediately. Oh my god, this replay sucks. So I hit a fish immediately, but Kazu just uses misstep, because, yeah. It's probably a good play. I don't draw infinite cards off the fish I can pay for with my mana crypt. So then Stellar, so this is the first good flip, like a Nashi that hits a fish. So then Stellar attacks Kazu and immediately hits a Van Tutor, which Van Tutor is probably better than any of the cards Stellar stacks plays. And so here I'm not sure if that was correct entirely, but oh yeah, here actually something important happens. Here I make a mistake. I'm sorry, yeah. So let's back up. So here I was not cycling the Street Wraith in case Kazu had Bowmasters. So that would be really idiotic, just getting my Nashi killed. So I think though, here it may have been correct, not sure, to see the extra card. Because yes, they might have Bowmasters, but they probably would have Bowmastered the Ragavan already. So if I cycled the Street Wraith and knew my top card, it would have played out a little differently, because my top card is Flare of Malice, as you see later. So then, if I knew there was a Flare of Malice, I knew the Stellar would probably die, so the Vamp Tutor wouldn't really do a lot, because they probably get some card that's good with Stellar, and then they get Flare of Malice, so like, you know, what the heck, it doesn't matter. So, still, mostly a Wanderer for Vamp Tutor, also they get the Vamp Tutor for free, it's a good trade. So I'm not too mad about this. So yeah, Kazu's game plan is to not die and say Timna's broken, which, like, not a bad game plan, things considered, and Italy goes for the chunky here. And Italy hits a Curse Mirror of their first flip, because whenever I play Italy, I hit 2 rocks and 2 counterspells, and they always hit Curse Mirror. So here I have to cycle the Street Wraith, and I top deck the Flare of Malice. So that's what I mean, like, maybe I wouldn't have counted the Vamp Tutor with my Mausoleum Wanderer if I knew that there was a Flare of Malice on top of my deck, but I didn't cycle the Street Wraith immediately because I feared that Kazu had Bowmasters. But yeah, I have to cast the Flare of Malice, which I got from cycling the Street Wraith, so they don't get 2 Italies. And also it kills all the commanders, so I'm kind of feeling really good about this position, because I'm gonna turn the corner really quickly by ninjutsu and yuriko and so on. And so on, and the Itali doesn't have that much mana, I thought, but, well, of course, Itali also draws that set every time. Oh well. So, we go to my turn, I attack, I hit a command tower, I draw Fierce, which is nice. The Dragavin attacks me, hits a Culling the Weak, which can cast their One Ring. Oh my god. Yeah, that is what happened. Amazing. So they're Culling the Weak into the One Ring, because the flips are insane here. But I also got a fish for my Nashi flip. So Kazu's plan, Timna's broken. Timna's not broken in the command zone. If you want to play such a command, you have to play Nala. So, yeah, Kazu's kind of screwed. Did they DT here or did they... I don't even think they DT'd. I think they just wanted to play Possum here, which is totally fair because they're really out of it. So, Itali says, oh yeah, I do the Dockside Extortionist. I'm like, amazing, because now I can win with Dockside in Sakashima Student. And then they cast Itali, and they flip Autumn's Veil and my Mana Confluence. So we dodged the bullet. Oh wait, no, Itali, then they told me, oh no, Itali actually flips two things, and they immediately hit my Hoarding Pool. So, 2 games in a row, and someone hits Protection Spell and big Reanimator fatty. So I was like, yep, this is definitely my day to get top 4. That was definitely what I was thinking at that moment. And because the game, that's not enough, they're also gonna Vandal Blast my Ornithopter and cast an Esper Sentinel. So here I say, okay, I need to Autumn's Veil this, I need to Fierce this Autumn's Veil. They Pyroblasted, and now the table almost didn't count it, but I was like, guys, we're gonna die if this Autumn Veil resolves. Here's the Hoarding Bootlord, they're gonna get Food Chain or something, and we just die. Little did I know that they already had Food Chain in hand, because my Italian opponents have been drawing somewhat well in this tournament. So yeah, then Flusterstorm, Kazu kind of said, yeah, I can deal with the non-creature spell, which I don't think they should have said, because now the Tali knows they play around it, but luckily the Tali didn't hear it. So after they protected the Autumn's Veil, the Pyroblast, because they also had Pyroblast, because all their cards... Oh no, I have to recall it up. Because all their cards in hand are perfect, of course. The Pyroblast get countered, and so now it's on the Hoarding Bootlord. And now we kind of got lucky, because maybe they don't have that much experience with this Itali, but I think if they get Rionia here, we're just super duper dead, because they get 4 tutors with the Hoarding Bootlord. And yeah, that's the game. But they didn't see the line, which maybe they don't play Rionia, but every deck plays Rionia because Rionia is broken. And maybe they wanted to play around removal, I guess. But, like, you can do Rionia, and then if someone has removal, you can still do Food Chain. And still get, like, more Itali flips. So maybe they play around removal, but like I said, they just didn't hear that Blue Farm said openly at Force of Negation. So instead they got Squeeder model, which I really don't agree with. Like, another line they could have probably done is just get a protection spell, like get a Veil or something, and just trust this Food Chain into 2 Itali flips, winning them the game too. So yeah, I'm not because they also flip more creatures and then that feeds into Food Chain, they'll probably get a 3rd Itali flip. I think they misplayed here and played the Food Chain, but good for me, because now the Food Chain gets Force of Negation by Blue Farm, and I just get a sweet Sakashima Student win where I can tutor every card in the deck with Hoarding Bootlord and exile the entire library. I didn't feel like playing after Tali got these top decks, so I just explained it to them and was like, you're dead, very dead. Also, shouts to Sink in the Stupor, you shut up. So yeah, this definitely good start for Reanimator. I almost lost to my own Hoarding Bootlord. But yeah, I'm 1-1 with somewhat of a miracle with how well Itali flipped and drew cards, but we take those. But yeah, sometimes you win because your opponents misplay. So, 3rd game. So, what happened? Oh yeah, this was also, we had to restart something, I think. Oh yeah, because like there was a reshuffle, so those were the 4 opponents at the beginning. And then it was like, oh wait, repair, but actually only Lucia and I and Datacorn, we all got the same pot. And then we had another guy. in our pots, so I think that's this we play. Oh no, we also played with Prosperity. So here I continue my trend of just getting kind of good hands. Like this hand is not that good, I'd say. Oh yeah, the turn order you see, it's Blue Farm, Tivit, Obnix and me. Blue Farm, me, Obnix, Tivit. But like, it's a Mausoleum Wanderer hand, it has a Force of Will, it has a Demonic Tutor, it has land, so I don't miss my land drops like I do. I think this is a fine keep, and I was actually very happy. So what helped was also drawing this mint and misstep. So yeah, better lucky than good, I guess. So Obnix kind of went crazy, they went turn 1 Obnix Grapeshot, which maybe they should have played a Firebrand Archer here. I think they got a little greedy, they got a little danger of cool things I want to win on turn 1. So if they played the Firebrand Archer, it probably would have been better, but I don't know. So now Obnix is an 8-7 on turn 1 though, which like, we are all like, guys, do you have anything? Here the Tivit passes, and here I just make a dumb misplay. So what they do is they enlighten Tutor. So I'm like, do I misstep this? And in 99 out of 100 cases, what this gets is like either sowing or fish. So I'm not sure if I should have misstepped this. Because like, maybe Tivit is gonna do something about it, if they get something, which in case they had. Like, they had an Oppo, which is oddly specific, but they got a blue interaction. And B, if they draw their fish for turn and then I misstep that one, then they're completely out of the game because they get one less card in their multiple. But I was just doing my usual philosophy of I don't want to play the game with Blue Farm, which whenever I violate it I lose to Blue Farm, so yeah, I didn't want to play with the Blue Farm player, I wanted to be a nice 3-player game, so I misstepped it. So turn 2 I get a Yuriko in. The nice thing about misstepping is that now I don't have to discard turn size, I get Scheming Symmetry. Trash card, no one else but me plays this, why would you ever play this card? So this guy draws a gut shot, what the heck, and a sowing. So we kind of get scared, because Subnixis is like 14 damage somehow on turn 2. So now I'm at 14 commander damage, and I'm like, great. The Tivit is like, yeah, I'm fine with you being at 14 commander damage and passes. So here it gets interesting. I swing, and I'm like, okay, Obnixilis, I'm gonna kill you, Obnixilis, except if you don't attack me. And it was like kind of wishy-washy politicking, I'd say, because they were like, yeah, I'm not gonna attack you. So I'm gonna say, okay, yeah, so but I'll still Demonic Tutor for the answer. And then the Tivit player did Opport. So now I can't get my answer, because the Tivit player gets my crypt. So now the Obnix player was like, yeah, well now you don't have an answer, now I'm gonna kill you. And I was like, whoa, we kind of said that you let me alive, and also you're gonna lose to the Tivit. Which I was making the point of that they have mana and they didn't do nothing all game. And they have one card in hand, and like their card in hand was also not very good. So like, you literally have a 14-13 against a good CDH deck with 4 cards in hand, and a non-factor Blue Farm play. Like, what are you gonna do? So they were like, yeah, sure, probably I should make it so that the Tivit dies first, because I told him, yeah, I don't have shit for your Obnixilis, which technically wasn't true, I had the Zornhalf, but Zornhalf is like a really shitty removal spell, because I still die with 7 command damage, so it buys me 1 turn. So I've kind of painted the Tivit as the threat. One important thing that I figured out later is they probably maybe should have killed me, because this mana crypt actually goes into exile when I die. But yeah, hindsight's 20/20. So now the Tivit has to pass with this. The Blue Farm player says, I don't want to play the game. I'm like, great, that's exactly what I wanted. And I say, okay, should I attack you? So, wait, why did I made some sort of deal that I attack. No, I just sacked him because I didn't want to block with the Firebrand Archer. And I was like, yeah, it's probably Rollick or Bust here. So I flipped, and it's a misdirection, which totally doesn't help here. And I was like, yeah, this Norad is probably not gonna make me friends with Obnixilis, and Obnixilis was like, no guy, dude, just play a Norad. I'm fine if I have a 14-13, if you play a Norad, that's fine. And I kind of have to do whatever he wants, because else I die really fast, was my reasoning. So yeah, I kind of be the Obnixilis slave, play this Norad, and now I have the Zornhalf here, so in case they kill me. So the blue farm player tapped the mana crypt in response to no red and auto-rose the Opnix, which helps. So the Opnix decides that their deck is broken, so they just replay it. Oh yeah, actually, now I spoiled it. The Tivit just untapped and passed. I don't know why they didn't like play the Ranger Captain, but maybe they wanted... Maybe... I have no idea what they wanted. Maybe they could have... They should have just played Nuclear Fallout here, right? Why didn't they Nuclear Fallout to kill the Obnixilis? Oh well, they just passed, which is weird, I think. But it kind of paints them like they have a win once I go. So I think it's bad. I think they should just Nuclear Fallout, wipe the board, and then just slow down this game to a crawl. So I play Bowmasters. I'm like, should I ping? I'm gonna ping the Firebrand Archer, although I'm not in a position to bargain. But actually now I'm kind of in a position to bargain because the Obnixilis has 7 power. So like, yeah, you're not gonna attack me with your Opnix because as I'm gonna kill your Archer. Oh, did I kill the... And they were like, yeah, sure. Because now they need the Archer to stay alive. And also you don't block me. So I hit a Tainted Pact, which is a useful card finally. And yeah, they cannot kill me. Oh, so they grow their Opnix a bunch, they make Value Breach. I think Value Breach gets one-soaked by the Tivit, but it doesn't matter because they just die now to the Obnixilis. So but the Value Breach would have killed them. I think they hit something. I don't exactly remember the exact sequence, maybe you should watch it. But in a nutshell, the Obnix hits enough spells to breach. And then maybe there was a hope that they don't hit another non-creature, but the Firebrand Archer basically killed them. So now the Tivit is gone, so now the Oppo is gone. Blue farm does really well, because they still do nothing against the Norod. And here I Tainted Pact. And basically I was thinking if there's a better way to win, because maybe there's like a Broodlord line, because I've Sovereign half in hand. But in a nutshell, I hit Oppo early enough, so now I can just Oppo Symmetry. So I flash an Oppo, which is like kinda lucky because next turn I'm so dead. But I could also have gotten a removal spell, so this game would have been scrappy if I didn't hit the Oppo early. So then I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna Thorkel Tainted Pact, and Blue farm has the Thorkel in hand. Luckily I still have a land drop with the fetch land. So I actually have Exacties to get Blue farm's Demonic Tutor and then Thorkel Tainted Pact. So I think this game probably came down to the Opnix decision to not kill me, which I think at the time was probably even correct for them. And then at some point I do the Tainted Pact, and with Scheming Symmetry trademark, I won a game. So I'm 2-1 now, so round 4. So this is not round 4. So round 4, I'm pot 1. I know all of my opponents can play Magic, because I've lost to this guy, because I've lost to 2 of them a bunch. And so it's Gitrog, it's Machesa, it's Yuriko, it's Celsius Cromp. So here it was again like a restart, but we were the same pot. So in the beginning Gitrog was 4th, and then they were like, can we just keep turn order? And they were like, only if all 4 players agreed to. And then the Gitrog was like, fuck no, I want to reroll. So then the Gitrog got first seed on the next reroll. Like here, like that's the pause where we had to restart. And now I'm 4th, what the heck. So this was my hand before the restart, which is like fish and infinite mana, it was great. And then I'm mulligan like a very slow hand, everyone else kept 7, so I'm not sure, maybe I should have kept this because of Bowmasters. But I don't think so, it seems a little sus. Because Doomsday also against 2 blue decks, and I know this blue deck has to be very mid-rangey. Maybe this is a keep, but I decided, nah, this Putridin is gonna get blocked as fuck, and then I have to discard cards to get a Ninja in, which is then also gonna get blocked. So let's try for something better. And I settled on this hand, which is like mana. So here I decided exiling the reanimate instead of the souling of that land, because the deck can do a lot with a lot of mana. So if my Thesis Oracle Sculpt is good, I can just get some really big ninjas out really quickly. And generally my philosophy is keeping a lot of mana in this deck, because then you can go from a very non-threatening position, because you have no cards in hand, to a very threatening position. Well, when you don't have mana but you have 7 cards in hand, everyone's gonna be like, oh, Yuriko has 7 cards in hand, but you don't have the mana to do anything, so then you're gonna get hated out and you're not gonna win. While one lucky top deck with mana, like my Tainted Pact in last game, will just win you the game immediately. So that's why I kept the mana. Maybe should have exiled the third land. Hindsight's 2020. But yeah, so the Gitrock does a bunch of stuff. This guy plays a Vexing Bubble, I'm like, da. So here there's an interesting politics moment. My top cards are Flare of the Night, Culling the Weak. I'm like, no thanks, Culling the Weak. You can have your place at the bottom of my library. But I'm like, okay, Lion, can you hold up the Vexing Bubble, because I have a free interaction spell and I don't want to lose to Grixis. Which kind of slows the game down, me saying, guys, I have the answer. And so they're like, yes, I think I can do what I can to hold up this Vexing Bubble in case the Grixis goes for win, because they're so happy with that, they're mid-range. Oh, also worthy to mention is, 11 points probably locks for a draw in the end, all 11 points got in, and we all had, I have 10, he has 10, 11, 11, so we three were like, we're down to draw, and he was like, I want to play, because he didn't know that 11 would lock. So we were always like, yeah, let's play responsible. Let's not let someone win. Let's just settle for a nice clean draw. So Gitrock plays a turn to Frog. And then this guy holds up his... Oh yeah, this is also good gameplay. We played around the carpet for one turn, if no one noticed it. But now Spicer had to get an Underground Sea. So he just dashes Ragavan and holds up the Vexing Bubble like this said, which is nice. Oh yeah, we are also scared of Gitrock right now, because Gitrock has a lot of mana, so any like big dredge card will probably screw us over. So we attack Spicer. Oh yeah, another important thing, they played Forbidden Orchard. I'm so mad. Of course they played Forbidden Orchard, and now they also played Orcish Bowmasters. This is amazing. This game is going great. Oh, I also forgot to mention, when Lion cast Ragavan, now I'm all over the place, they actually took Spicer's Rhystic Study with the Ragavan and made treasure. Which you can see by the hand, this entire plan of Spicer was to Vamp Tutor and then turn to Rite of Flame Rhystic Study. So now they had to get a Bowmasters. Which obviously super sucks me more, because now I can't play Thassus. I decide to just bring out Yuriko, because in case I draw another ninja, I might be able to punch through the wall of Bowmasters if they have better things to do than casting Machaser. So yeah, and alternatively, if I have to stop a win, I sack the Yuriko to play off the Null again. And I don't want to sacrifice Thassus Oracle. But yeah, I also do another land, which sucks, because now I'm flooding. But yeah, then Gitrock just petrifies field, which no Gitrock lists play, someone told me, and I was like, what? This seems so good with Gitrock. So they draw a card with that. Then they get back Ash Barons. So they draw a card with that by cycling the Ash Barons. And they also sacrifice a land to Gitrock. So then they want to play Mox Diamond, and it gets countered by Vexing Bubble. Else they would have drawn another card. But as you see, they do a bunch of lands. So we were as a pot like, okay, nice, we survived through Gitrock. So what is this guy gonna do? He's gonna phase out my Yuriko, he's gonna dash Ragavan. So is this the turn where he made the deal? No. He just passes and says, yeah, let's keep up Vexing Bubble, let's keep my mana. Like I said, this deck is very happy to just play the long, drawn-out mid-range game. So they just like, don't lose and I win. But yeah, I don't know, maybe they should have been more aggressive. So then they Demonic Tutor, which I don't know what they Demonic Tutor for. Oh, actually no, they Demonic Tutor for Necropotence. No, they actually Demonic... Oh, they did... I never saw this Underworld Breach out of their hand in the entire game. I attacked them, they got a Spirit, they blocked it. I was like, great, this game is great. Also, I do an Unmarked Grave. So, hindsight's 2020. If I didn't get a land, if I didn't exile a land in my turn 1 Gemstone Caverns, I would have just, from the backseat, just win the game. Because then I just Unmarked Grave, get Holding Bootlord, and have enough mana to go through the entire line with Flare of the Night backup. Which, it the Broodlord lines didn't really come up this tournament, but this is kind of sick. If like I keep the reanimate, I'm like, oh my god, I have 2 cards in hand, my yuriko has no attack, spam, win the game with protection. That would have been really sick, and I would have been first seed with 15 points. Because he had a mind break trap, but you can't assume 2 pieces of interaction from these guys, I think. So that would have been pretty cool, but I exiled the 3rd land, because like I said, I like to prioritize mana, and like the usual sequence of Theth's Oracle would have hit anything good and I would have been able to attack would be turn to ninjutsu and out Theth's Oracle and play a sowing, and then turn 3 play the Theth's Oracle and maybe play a 3-1 spell. So I still stand by the decision of probably exiling the land is correct. But yeah, would have been really, really sweet if the reanimate was in my hand and I just win the game out of nowhere. Which actually I don't, because there's an Assassin's Trophy. So I guess it wouldn't have even worked. Maybe in this board state I could actually get Sphinx to play around various cards, like Mindbreak Trap. That would have been maybe the better play. But oh well, didn't happen this game, so now I'm in a bad spot. So wait, is this the turn where they already abrupt decay? No, they don't. So the Gitrog draws another land, because that deck plays a lot of lands, is what they showed us. So then me and Lion is like, are you gonna counter my dog side if I play it? And I'm like, only if you let me attack with Yuriko. Which is absolute bullshit, because I would never counter this dog side with there's a Grixis deck next in turn order. But I need to get I was like, I need to get Yuriko triggers, do whatever you want, I need to draw cards. So they do Dog Side, they do Spellseeker, they do Twin Flame, which super scary of course. So then Spicer goes Necropotence. So I think it's at this point. So yeah, I was trying to now force a draw with the Flare of Denial, which like the Teemo play disagreed. Like Spicer was fine, Flabbergasted was fine, or Bird was fine, but Teemo play was like, let me play. So I was like, sure, but then I'm not gonna count Necropotence. So then it got mana drained. So I was like, do I fight over this? No, actually they didn't mana drain it. Interesting, yeah. So then Spicer scalped the hand. I'm like, okay, maybe now die to Spicer, but as you see, Spicer actually hit Dockside and Garbage. That's what they did. So now I attack him because they promised to not block, and now Bird abrupts the case, and I'm like, what? Why? So I try talking him out of it, and he's like, I'm only gonna take this back if we all agree to, like, if we 3, Bird, me, and Spicer make a collusion, and basically 3v1 Lion, and whoever puts a win on the stack draws. Which is like kinda shitty, I have to say. Like, I don't like this kind of fighting, but it's the best thing. So I was like, sure, I'm down for that, my hand is garbage. Which is 2 at this point, even though reanimation spell always wins here, but still my hand is kinda garbage. So the abrupt decay gets taken back, and Bird is like, yeah, now I'm gonna, I guess, abrupt decay the dog side, and I'm gonna draw a card of Gitrog from sacrificing a land, and the Bomas is gonna kill Spellseeker, and I'm gonna green Sun Zenith. And then the Lion Grado gets scared and mana drains it, which I don't think they had to actually. I think maybe if they didn't mana drain it, they had a chance of winning, but they wanted 3 colorless, which very understandable. So then they played Archdruid's Charm, they played Eternal Wizard, they Dockside, which is infinite with Twin Flame, and I countered the Dockside, and then we all agreed to a draw. So Spicer was like, haha, now I'm gonna screw you over, just kidding. So yes, everyone, honest people, like if you play with these guys, they hold their word, which is great, they don't screw you over like other people do. So yeah, we agreed to a draw, and 11 points with those breakers, because 11 points by having 10 points after round 3 usually locks you in this type of tournament. It turns out actually, spoiler alert, every person with 11 points made it. So while Lion and I had horrible breakers from all the 11 pointers and 10 pointers at the time, it doesn't really matter because there were only 9 of us, I think. And all the other ones who fight their way up and win some game in round 4 or 5, they don't play 2 rounds against only 10 pointers. They maybe play 1 or even 0 rounds against only 10 pointers. Also, I know that the Timna Jeska from my pot 1 won their game. So I literally only had 1 opponent who didn't have at least 5 points. So yeah, I was pretty locked already, which is nice because now it gets really late here in Europe, and I didn't play well the other 3 rounds. But just win the turn and just get top 6 in the first 4 rounds. So yeah, this last game is painful because I just punted it, but let's see, is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. So nothing really interesting happened, like this guy played a fish. What the fuck happened? Okay, so Hobbit on Tim Najesk is going first. He's the only one that needs to win. We are all good to draw in. So the Hobbit gets a really good start with Tim 9. And here's the fish, there's an enlightened tutor. There's a mower, I have a yuriko, I might to 6 with like a hand that had 1000 face shadow and a tutor. I don't have to cast this tutor into an oppo because someone else does. Oh, there's a goblin engineer getting cursed mirror, which becomes important later. I don't know why they didn't just get defense grid, but you have to ask them. So then they play oppo, so luckily the guy with the fetch runs into it, so I don't have to ram tutor into it. But my plan right now already is roaming zone plus 1000 face shadow to win the game. So yeah, I play Ferris here. I get really lucky on my scries because I get a culling the week of Yuriko. So now what I can do is I can do culling the week my ingenious prodigy. Maybe I should have culling the week the Ferris here because it's less blockable. And I can just cast a turn 3 roaming zone. And I'm like, great, I just have turn 4 ninjutsu 1000 face shadow. So Timna draws 10 cards, plays a Dorothy, Nif lets their fish die, unsubstantiates Dockside. And now this is interesting because I don't know if the 2 blue, if this Swan Song P Grady did is correct. Like, they were like, yeah, but we just tied to Nif. Which, yeah, in the end that actually proved to be true because they had the 10 to look good. But I don't know, maybe the Swan Song was wrong. But hindsight's 2020, so they draw a bad card, I think. Or they do a Noble Hierarch. So now I swing the flyer at Hobbit. And these two, because Hobbit doesn't have flying block and Mud doesn't play. So what I missed is that Goblin Engineer at instant speed gets Cursed Mirror and gets a bird token. And then he blocks my fairies here. So if I just attack P Grady and then just send the 1000 face shadow copies at Hobbit, I get 16 triggers. And then I win the game. So just missing that Cursed Mirror line was unnecessary. And I think it's also unnecessary because maybe Hobbit plays Aven Mind Sensor, I don't know. And in this spot, like obviously both Lizard and Hobbit are the threats and P Grady is not, so getting 1 damage on one of them might matter. But I don't think it matters too much because I can send both of the roaming clones tokens. I can send at one of them each. So then he's at 29 and he's at 27 and I have 16 flips. So, I mean, I think even just for the off chance that Hobbit maybe has a Mind Sense or, I don't know, something flying that blocks the Ferris here, I think it's still correct just to have less mental fatigue to attack P Grady. Obviously when there's a Curse Mirror in the graveyard it's just a game losing play. So yeah, then they block it, I'm like shit, my Yuriko flips are garbage. I debate about playing the Ornithopter because Dockside for the reasons. But I'm like, if the Nif Dockside for this, sure. And I totally missed another thing Hobbit can do now. So I played the Ornithopter because I was like, I guess I try again next turn. Because my hand has no game plan, because there's also an Oppo. So there's Oppo and Dorothy which shuts off these 2 cards. So my only real game plan is winning with ninjutsu, so I kind of need to play the Ornithopter. Because the Morse maybe stops someone from winning, that was the idea. So what I didn't realize is that they now they do besiege an Underworld. So now they have a double protected win. And what enables this double protected win, it didn't matter because I didn't have shit. So they only need a single protected win. But what enabled this was that they could Jesker the Dockside from Lizard and then play the Dockside from Dorothy. So now this Ornithopter is a crucial third treasure. They actually target with the Jesker for one moment and sadly realize it. So whatever, so let's rewrite this. So this Dockside is a crucial third treasure. Like, without this treasure they wouldn't have won. But then their last 2 cards in hand after having double silence is Besiege and Underworld Breach, so they go through Grinding Station line. And honestly, well played. Like, the Jeska line was good. And yeah, then after that, wait, where is it? Can I play this? Cocktails playing never works usually. I'm like, yeah, I showed you, well, I did like the first 10 of the 16 flips I would have gotten. It's like 10, 18, 20, 22, 24, 27, yeah, 20. So I would have just won if I just attack with the 1000 Faith Shadow, which kind of sucks. I mean, if I attack the Pharisee somewhere else. So this kind of sucks, and I'm like mad because it's it's not obvious, but you can definitely just attack someone else with the Pharisee. Like, I think if I know I'm not playing at my very best because it's just that late, I think there's a fair point to make decisions that are slightly less EV, but less prone to getting blown out. So you maybe don't swing your 1 damage at the guy who you think has no blockers, but just at the guy who probably definitely has no blockers. It's like in chess, when you're low on time, you make a move that doesn't ruin the position, instead of playing a move that you calculated that it probably works. So you try to not get into complications, and I think it's the same concept applied here, that you don't try into complications against the multi deck with cards in hand and mana open, and are like, okay, this guy has 1 card in hand, 1 mana open, there's way less probability that they're gonna have anything, and it's only 1 damage. So I think that was really bad. So I'm really mad in going into top 16. But yeah, I did the usual thing, I hydrated, I slept a little, because this one was kind of quick. And then we go into top 16. So this game was sick. This is kind of probably why I decided to make this video. So, it's Hobbit in first seed now from last round, because I punted that win. So this hand doesn't have enough colored sources, luckily, and so I mulligan it. And then I get this hand in third seed. So I snap keep this, and so you should maybe pause if you don't know already what I did, and think what to do with this hand. So anyways, so look at this game, and I'm gonna tell you P. Grady did not get a turn. Hobbit played a turn 1 Hymno, good starting hand again. This guy played Fish and Dork. So I flashed an Oppo on the end step with this Dark Ritual. And now I tank a little, because I'm tired and I don't want to fuck this up. So I Scheming Symmetry, Hobbit and Roxas, maybe not. I then get, very importantly, I get maybe not LED and Hobbit's Breach, because maybe not is the only one who has LED in there. Yeah, at this time I didn't know that Sister was on Clam Chowder, else this line actually is way easier. But oh well. So I take Hobbit's Breach and this guy's LED against the fish, because blue decks, like you saw in game 1, they never draw interaction. The interaction is not there when you have a fish on board, then all your interaction is on the bottom of the deck. It's like when you have the interaction on the top of your deck while you have a card advantage engine out, everyone is gonna accuse you of cheating, because it never happens. So I crack the LD for 3 black, because Oppo lets me cast mana of any color. So wait, let's not rush this, because this line is so beautiful. So crack this for 3 black, and then cast with 2 black, cast Underworld Reach, which is my favorite thing to do, because I love Reach. Reach is the greatest card. I'm also a Rockset player. It's amazing. Beautiful card. I also like the new art. Like, the old art is also good, just for a sec, but the new art is also really beautiful. So, yeah. Cast Reach, recast Symmetry, exiling 3 cards. This would not have worked if it was a 6. And I target Hobbit and Maybe Not. So I get Maybe Not's Brain Freeze and Hobbit's LED. I crack this LED for 3 black again, and I cast Brain Freeze, targeting myself. The problem is that LEDs and Brain Freeze go into the other players' graveyards. So I Brain Freeze myself. So I hit a Mana Crypt here. So now I'm thinking I can just assemble a Grinding Station line from Hobbit, basically. So I Mana Crypt and then Grinding Station myself out, and then win the game by, casting Scheming Symmetry, Oh no, wait, what? Because Oppo's Mana of Elikal is also mana equipped. So if I make infinite mana with mana equipped, I can cast any spell from their deck. And I don't know how I was thinking about winning, but maybe I probably get P Grady's Dockside and then just make blue with that and then Thauke. Or I also have Lotus Pet in the graveyard. Dual is really my oyster with a grinding station line here, but I also need to play around silence. So I was like, maybe P Grady has something to blow me out. Or actually, what did I do this time? Yeah, maybe P Grady has something to blow me out. So now the original plan was to just look at their hand and see what they have and take the Lotus Petal from them. Which, in hindsight, is probably wrong, because maybe if they have the Lotus Petal in hand, which they did, I might have a problem actually finding a line, because I kind of need the mana. But in the end they were on Clam Chowder. So I'm not sure if this targeting them is correct. But now that they're on Clam Chowder, this is the wrong deck. Anyways, they're on Clam Chowder, that's all you need to know. Maybe I didn't target this iteration, shit. Wait, who did I target? Let's back up. Me forgetting my beautiful line one day after I did it. So I cast the Scheming Symmetry. Everyone complains how ridiculous this is and how they don't get to play Magic, because I am playing all the Magic. Oh, actually I targeted them. I think I just got mana. Oh yeah, he forced it, which made the thing difficult. That's where the mana went. So he forced it, but force doesn't stop me, only like an excess spell stop me. Now it target these two. Which, yeah, is a huge mistake, I think. Because I can get a mana crypt, I guess, and then a dark... I guess I can get mana crypt. I can get mana crypt from one of them and dark ritual from the other. Because I just needed mana to recast the Scheming Symmetry over and over. And like, colorless mana also counts as mana. I confirmed this with the judge. So I can tap the mana crypt for 2 colorless and use one of those colorless to cast the mana crypt. And from there I was going to just get a spell that deals with the Remora and then win. Like, just with a breach line. So here I was like, oh, you're on Clam Chowder? That's sick, because Clam Chowder also plays the breach line. So I get this really good card called Black Lotus. I mean Lions Eye Diamond, but it's no difference here. So I get a Black Lotus, and I make another mistake actually in this line. I think I get a Red Blast from Hobbit here. Which is super dumb, because what I'm supposed to do here is get... God. Yeah, they revealed a lot of cards to me, if you can tell. Oh my god, is it bugged or what? Or is it... yes, okay. So, then Clam Chowder. So I get a Red Blast. The problem with getting Red Blast is, if my Scheming Symmetry is gone, my line likely ends here. Like, there's maybe some bullshit with Howling Bootlord. I don't know if I have the cards in extra for that. Line probably ends there. So, I red blast the fish. If they now draw Force of Negation or Mindbreak Trap, I'm screwed, because they just say show fish dice, and then they exile my Scheming Symmetry. So, what I should have done is get Silence. Because then they may be Mindbreak Trapping the Silence, but then just try again and get Grand Abolish on the next try. But now they technically had one more out to draw a card of the fish, which exiles my Scheming Symmetry. And then I would have casted a lot of big spells on turn 1 and probably still get there some way. But still, just like an idiotic mistake, and I could have been punished by them going Mindbreak Track. They, on the other hand, do like 10 lands and the dark side. Which, yeah, I got lucky there that they didn't draw it. But I think the chances were honestly in my favor. I'm not negative, what are they saying? But the chances were in my favor from them not drawing it, because in the early turns every counter spell stops me in the first couple draws, but then after the Brain Freeze resolved, it's only a couple. It's like Force of Neck and Mindbreak Trap, really. And Endurance. So it's like gets a lot less. So yeah, blue decks never have it. And from here I also show off, because usually you can also do this line without having this Underground Sea and Underground River untapped. And a lot less janky with the Brain Freeze by just getting a Mnemonic Betrayal from the Grixis deck. And now that I know that the Sisei is just Grixis with a bad command in the command zone, that's not Rograg, I can just get the Mnemonic Betrayal to show off a little, cast 3 Lions Eye Diamonds, cast a Brain Freeze, and now I was like thinking, do I make like some idiotic line, like there is probably a line where I give Wish Claws to both Hobbist and Pre-Grady, and then get someone's Dockside and cloned with Flash Duplicate and Roaming Throne. So I then make infinite dockside loop and also kill someone with the dockside loop in the same game where I kill him with the breach, but I was like, yeah, let's just stalker. I didn't have to sleep for this. But it would have been funny, also doing it like a Teemo Sabertooth dockside loop. So yeah, that was really lucky, I guess. Just a turn 1 win in the semi-finals, I take it. But yeah, it was a blast. It was a blast playing this game. There's been a lot of comments about it now. It was like everyone top 16 knows how to play their deck and win with it. Even if, for example, the Yuriko knows how to win with the decks of the opponents and not his own. But yeah, then I go really tight into the finals, which like the sun was rising during the finals. So yeah, I played this pretty badly. So I mulligan the first hand. It's pretty easy mulligan, I'd say. And then second hand is gas. Like I exile the Emrakul, which I didn't want to have in my deck, but I submit the wrong list. But Emrakul did well. Good job, Gemstone fodder. This entire tournament. And so the plan is Demonic Tutor for Entomb, and actually the line is really sick. Like, you can, I guess I'll tell it to you later when it actually is relevant. So there you go, Esper. Here I actually draw Bowmasters, which is sick. So I'm thinking, do I kill the Esper or do I just like say Blue Farm doesn't have it? Blue Farm definitely had stuff, but oh well. But Nadu is not a real blue deck. Nadu tries to get Nadu out. Nadu doesn't mull for counterspells in this pot against... Because I'm not even sure, this is not Blood Pot, this is just Nadu Turbo with green. But I don't know if Nadu necessarily knew that, so I was like, I only need to have Blue Farm not have a counterspell. Which is a fair assumption, because keeping a hand because of Esper is what Blue Farms like to do. So I was just like, I get Entomb. And I explain later how this line works. So Nadu gets some Dorks. And here's the interesting part. Twice got 2 Spirit Tokens, which I was trying to talk Blue Farm out of them. I was like, this guy runs Cradle and I'm not gonna attack with them. Which is also very selfish for me, because then at least I don't get blocked. And here they get Grim Heiling. So they cast this Cabal Ritual. This is the crucial, because I was like, you should count this Cabal Ritual, because I can win then after. No, I didn't say that, but like, I was saying you should count this Cabal Ritual because this Grim Heiling is gonna make infinite value. And they misread the Grim Heiling that it's 2 treasures. And I was too tired to actually politic it, because I think they would have counted it if they actually read the card. Because it's really scary for them, because it kills all their stuff and they don't have win in hand. So when this Grim Heiling does the thing, Blue Farm is screwed. Kind of. So if I politicked a little harder, then this Cabal Ritual would have gotten by the fluster, because now we all knew they had something. And I could have won. So how I would have won is a good time to explain when it goes to my turn. So they go Grim Heiling, attack, killed Halfling, pass. So here, so how I would have won even without the land is I would have entombed Howling Broodlord. Or you can think about how you would win this, but then I would have reanimated Howling Broodlord. Then actually, you know what? Actually let's do some lesson and actually show actions, start local game. Because the line I came up with doing the game, I was tired enough, too tired to politic, but playing as much combo as I did, you even can find lines asleep like that. Now I'm very proud of the line. Oh my god. Very professionally, the computer lagging, amazing. Oh my god. Load deck. So yeah, me having actually like 4 reanimated Yuriko deck shows that I've been tinkering with this for a little while. So we don't need Yuriko in the command zone, that commander sucks. Why would you even play it? You only play Yuriko for the color identity trust. Entomb, reanimate, the red return. So those are the 3 cards I need. Psych, nope. The 4th most important card is actually Orcish Bowmasters. So, and I have 2 lands. And yeah, I don't have a commander, Yuriko sucks. I had a Gemstone and I had IUC, I think. So, what I would have done is I entomb, I get the bootload. So then I reanimate the bootload, go to whatever life, like I don't know what life, but something around 20, but it doesn't matter. I'm not a quick deck. So usually this gets sawn in half and wins, but you don't have the mana for sawn in half. So instead, what you do is you get sacrifice. Then you convoke sacrifice, sacrificing the bootload, making 8 black. So then you use 4 of dread recurring the bootload. Now you have enough to saw in half and get P into the abyss and sacrifice, which works in Rector's decks because they have 2 effects. They have sacrifice and burn offering, but this deck doesn't have it because A, burn offering sucks, except if you're playing Dago, and B, it's not legal because we're not in the color identity. So now what we get is we still get saw in half. Then we play Bowmasters. So Bowmasters is mana neutral here because it convokes. But there's an important plot twist here. So then we convoke these 3 to saw in half the bootload. And now what we do is get where is it? Oh, we get 2 bootloads, of course. Like, I'm not gonna just power and toughness just for the sake of demonstration. So now what we can do is do opposition agent scheming symmetry in theory, because there's a 0 mana line against 2 Grixis decks, or against the Mother and the Grixis deck. The 0 mana line is basically you get LED and Breach from one player, from the player that doesn't have Mnemonic Betrayal. Then you get then you cast Breach. I guess maybe I should show it. Like, let's assume a 0 mana line. This is the only thing we had. Like, this also would have worked without the Bowmasters. So let's say we get opposition agent and we get scheming symmetry. So then we target the Mardu deck and get their Breach. Oh, I'm so good. Oh my god. Oh well. Create token, not Breach, Underworld Breach. So we get a Breach, and then we get Lion's Eye. Oh fuck. Oh well, you have to imagine this. I don't know how to spell Lion's Eye Diamond exactly, because I don't know where the Abyss Turf is. So we get an LED. So this is very important. This is from Nadu, this is from the Grixis deck. This is from Blue Farm. Then we crack the LED. So we crack the LED. I'll move the LED here, I guess. So set annotation in Mardu's graveyard. No, in Grixis graveyard. In Blue Farm's graveyard. So we crack the LED for 3 black, and like you're doing the usual trick. We also had a fetch in graveyard, which I think mattered at some point in the line, but probably not. I don't fucking know. I think there was some line I figured out where the fetch actually mattered, but it doesn't really matter. Then use 2 to cast the Breach. Used 1 to cast the Scheming Symmetry, exiling a couple cards. Oh yeah, this is where it matters. So I actually the Misty actually matters, just for clarity. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I'm just stupid. Oh well. 1, 2, 3 cards. So Scheming Symmetry then gets Mnemonic Betrayal from Blue Farm. And that's why you learn to spell Mnemonic. And you get the LED now from the Grixis deck. That's why it was important to actually get from the non-Grixis deck, to get the LED from non-Grixis deck. From non-Grixis deck. So then what you do is you crack this LED for very important 3 green. No, just kidding, the color doesn't matter. Choose but you also want to have 1 with green mana if you do this line. In non-Grixis deck graveyard. And then you go Mnemonic Betrayal. Oh, now it's gone. Oh, well, it exiled itself. And now you can actually recast to 2 LEDs. So now with exactly 4 cards in graveyard, I guess, you exile the last 2, and then you go Scheming Symmetry again with 5 mana left over. And 5 mana usually does it. Like in this case, for example, what I can get is I can get a Demonic Tutor from the non-Grixis deck and the Demonic Consultation from the Grixis deck. So then I just tutor my own Thassa's Oracle with the 3 left mana and win. So you just get a win with you just get 2 tutors from your opponent's deck with 5 mana, which is usually GG. However, if you remember the game replay, they had a Red Blast in hand, which my line so far has been completely proved true. But now, when I try to win maybe with Thoracle, I see their hand, of course, I might lose to Red Blast. Also, what I might lose to is that they have any of these cards in their hand. Like, I'm screwed if they have the Breach in hand, for example. So, the actual line is, this is why the Bowmaster is important, that the Bowmaster was mana neutral, and what you actually do is you go for Opposition Agent and Scheming Symmetry, and then you sacrifice 3 to direct return the original Broodlord back to stack. So like before going through the Breach line and all that stuff, so these are in the graveyard, all of these didn't happen so far. So you sacrifice these 3 to cast direct return targeting the Broodlord, and that's why the Misty was important, because now you actually still have enough cards to exile. So now you direct return the Hoarding Broodlord, which also I've already cast the Oppo and this is untapped. This is how the mana worked. Trust me, you can also rewind if you don't trust me. So, and this Oppo is tapped though. Yes, like this. So now what you do is you get Culling the Weak. Because we already, like the technically correct thing to do would be actually in this case to get Pact of Negation and then go through the 0 mana line with known their hands, but still this loses to them having either LED or Breach or Mnemonic Betrayal already in hand. So the best line is you get Culling the Weak. Oh, this Broodlord is sacrificed, right? Yeah, this one and the fake Broodlord is sacrificed to the Dread Return, I forgot that. So you get Culling the Weak. Wait, there was... wait, what is the problem here? Did I not convoke? I think you didn't need to convoke this Oppo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have 2 mana, because why would you not? Because you literally get... I think this is the mana situation, but it doesn't really matter. The point is that after you Culling the Weak the Broodlord, I guess you Scheming Symmetry first, sorry. You Scheming Symmetry first, and then you see the Red Blast, which in this case you have to play on, and then you Culling the Weak the Broodlord. And then you have 4 extra mana. And then with this you can do way more stuff. Like you can go probably for a Thoracle line, you can just, like, the Hoarding Broodlord is still there, so you can, if they play Culling the Weaks, you can do Culling the Weak Reanimate and get even more mana. Oh, actually that doesn't work in this case. But this means you just have 4 extra mana, which plays around a lot. So how you get through the Red Blast, probably, because now you can do the Mnemonic Betrayal, is by now going to the Brain Freeze line like I did in game 2, because we took a lot more game actions. So the Brain Freeze line is way better and they can Red Blast it. And now we actually have the extra mana, so we don't really need to do the 0 mana line like we did before, because now we have this mana left over. Which the Brain Freeze line I guess also probably works, if we have 0 mana left over. But like this it's a lot safer. Even if people have pieces in hand, or have interaction that specifically doesn't hit with it, which to be fair is not a lot. It's like mostly Red Blast actually. Because your graveyard, there's no graveyard interaction like Endurance because Worth been used. and there's no, and you already got hit by a misstep, and also SWAT is already done. So there's not a lot actually that can go wrong here except Red Blast, which was what they were having. But you can get screwed over by one of them maybe having LED in hand. So this line doesn't need to use LED, you can instead get Lotus Petal because you don't get that much mana. So if, let's go back to the original game, if I could have convinced Blue Farm to actually counter the Cavalry Ritual so they don't get Grim Heiling in infinite value, I just had to win turn 2. Which is so sad, because I think from what Blue Farm knew, I also showed them the Bowmasters, it was like, guy, I can deal with the Fintoners, you don't need this guy to make infinite mana or not infinite mana, but like a lot of mana to deal with the Nadu. I can deal with Nadu. So then that's resolved, and I made a mistake here. So I played the Monsters first. What no one, including the 4 judges that were in this room, or I guess it was only 1 judge, but oh well, including the judge didn't know, and I should have known this because I played this deck and it happens, is that Orchid Bowmaster actually goes the Moth Dust. Also what I should have done is I should have said, I ended up killing the Grim Hireling with this Lotus Petal on the stack, there's an S-Bomb on the stack. I should have said, twice, you're never gonna touch my board, then I'm not killing your Hireling. Because Blue Farm's getting a lot of cards. Like, their hand sucks right now, to be fair. But like, usually Blue Farm with that many cards in hand, you can't afford giving them more cards. So I think I should have killed the S-Bet at this point, just said twice, just don't touch me, make all the mana you want, but don't touch my creatures. So I ended up killing the Hireling, and now I also have to worry about Nadu. But Nadu gets dealt by Nadu gets Red Blasted by Blue Farm, which is nice. So then Blue Farm plays Ranger Captain as a value Ranger Captain, which, looking at the hand right now, it is. And they just go Timna Pass and Bird. So this is like the final mistake, I'd say. Here, what I did, I should have, in this point, like I was scared Blue Farm's gonna win here, which I didn't have it. But I should have, I entombed reanimate, which I probably should have done. Also I gave Monsters Flying, which is unnecessary, just to attack Blue Farm. But I was planning on entombing reanimate Jin-Gitaxias. Because I was thinking, this is gonna give me the best chance of survival, because if it resolves and Blue Farm doesn't win on their turn, I just win. Easily. But the problem is that A, if Blue Farm has a win in hand, it doesn't matter. Because they can crack the Ranger Captain. And B, which I didn't know, that Swift Warkite had Naxxia's Revival. Which I was just counting Nadu completely out of not having interaction, because their starting hand was broken as fuck. So why would I keep interaction? Which, it's good to note, actually my beautiful turn to win line wouldn't have worked because they had Noxious Revival, which is like, sucks, but it's extremely unlikely. So I feel like in the hearts I would have won with the turn to line if they countered it, but obviously it's not true because they just Noxious Revival and reanimated tapped. But what ended up happening, sadly, is that I go Jin-Gitaxias, and they are like, and Nadu is like, I can't beat Jin-Gitaxias, so they Noxious Revival. So now Nadu used an interaction piece on me, because they said I can beat Jin-Gitaxias. Well, with Broodlord, if I let some of these creatures untap, which I also didn't do, and don't ninjutsu and yuriko and just do all of this pre-combat, I was, I guess, kind of hoping to get something off here. But I don't think I should have, because his Dark Witcher also actually enables me to straight up win the game. But it doesn't matter because it always cracks the Ranger Captain. So what I should have done is gone Darkwood, even post-combat, gone Darkwood, Entomb, Reanimate, and get Broodlord. And if they crack it on Darkwood, sure, whatever. I can still Entomb on end step and then go for on my turn. And the important thing is the Ranger Captain is gone, so now Blue Farm cannot feel as safe going for win on their turn. Which they don't have it in hand, but that's unknown to us right now. Maybe they said it, but like maybe they had a tutor, I don't know. We are not sure about this. And then what one did I want to say? Yes, then the Broodlord, once I reanimated, I put the trigger on the stack, they can crack the Ranger Captain now, and then I get just a counterspell. And then I have a counterspell and the Ranger Captain is cracked, so no one's winning. Then, which isn't true because I think Twice was winning because they had Ranger Captain in their 4 cards. But in theory that's probably the better play, just to make them hold up interaction after I crack the ranger captain, and even though they don't have a win in hand, which no one of us can now, then they hold up interaction definitely. But I got Jingita, and if they don't respond to the Woodlord ETB, you just get Saw in half, and then Saw in half the Woodlord. And then they can still crack the Ranger Captain, but then you just get 2 pieces of interaction, or you actually probably get 1 piece of interaction, and 1 piece that allows you to win somehow. So, but yeah, I got Jingitaxius, Swift Warkite, got Noxious Revival, and Blue Farm top deck Norse. And then they Norse, they hit Lotus Petal somewhere there, and it's completely over. So actually what they did is, here they have the winning line. Like, we didn't know because we didn't know they had Breachnet. So they kept going for 1 more and were like show Necropotence. And then they kept going for 1 more and hit Savines. But actually if they hit Force of Will, they would have just died. So it would have been funny if they didn't hit the Savines. But once my thing got Noxious, I'm like, this is super over, because either Blue Farm wins with Norse or twice wins somehow, because 4-color turbo with the Tymna that can swing 2-way, that can draw a card, and like not showing their win con so far in tutoring and Grim Heiling, there was no way. And they showed it to us after that in Light and Tutor. We were super dead there too. So yeah, but Blue Farm hits the Norse. They also know how to breach line, although I doubt they know it better than me, huh? Like I did in top 16, but yeah. Breach, they had to gamble, brain freeze, GG's. So yeah, I mean, in the end, maybe I should have killed the Esper. Another thing that I didn't actually mention is that maybe I should have also just gone turn 1 Bowmasters in that final game. But I wanted to turn 2 win, which would have been crazy. But I think tutoring there was correct. Because you generally in this deck you also don't want to pull out a Bowmasters too early. Because then people can tutor target their own Bowmasters, or even use their clone. And then you're screwed, because an opponent with the Bowmasters is really bad. But yeah, I think the biggest I should have obviously tried to politic the Blue Farm into countering the Cabarrage, which actually is in their best interests. Especially if we don't make the mistake of killing the Hireling, and I instead negotiate with twice. But the definite mistake was, I think, killing the Hireling, which I should have just negotiated with twice. Because the beautiful thing is, in the turn where they casted the Lotus Petal, and I had like 2 virtual Bowmaster triggers, what I can do is I can Bowmasters the Esper Sentinel, and then actually force the Nadu player to pay for the Esper Sentinel, because else I kill their Finton Elves. So then they have to pay, and then they get time walk because they can cast Nadu and the Esper is dead. And then maybe twice wins that game still. But Blue Farm definitely had 1 piece of interaction. But yeah, the game goes on and Magic is played. But I get 2 Yuriko triggers. So yeah, killing the Hireling was very wrong. I think I should have definitely negotiated with twice. Okay, well, that was the tournament run. Honestly, like in the last game the reanimator thing showed something, and also in the 3rd game where I exiled to reanimate. But the nice thing I think about this one is, and it's also happened a lot in my testing games, is that by not going this far down the rabbit hole of the reanimator thing, I actually get a lot of just normal Yuriko wins. Like I should have gotten a win with Thousand Face Shadow and Roaming Zone, I got a win with Sakashima's Student, and so on. So you just also get a lot of mileage by just playing good Yuriko cards. And then just, if the opportunity presents itself, you get to say I have a Broodlord and I win the sickest way possible, and oh no, you have a Noxious Survivor, god damn it. So you can do that. And that was honestly the big theme for my testing games. And yeah, it's very sad that you didn't get to see some of the things this deck did. Like, here's some of my testing games I played before. So this was sick. This was a testing game where what happened is that I played it Nashi, turn 2 with a Silver Master, and hit a Glenlander. Then Kinnan copied my Nashi. Then I hit a Dorothy and played the Dorothy. Then Kinnan Worldly Tutored. I don't know what I missed that, but probably something. Kinnan then Worldly Tutored to get a Consphinx, or this is the Nashi, and played with Nashi. And then I used my Dorothy to Worldly Tutor and get a Broodlord and hit them with Nashi. And then I won. So it's kind of funny how they copied my Nashi to do the combo of Nashi plus top deck tutor, and then I did their combo of Nashi plus top deck tutor. But yeah, so a lot of these game replays were just reanimator, just doing bootload stuff, or just winning the game like the normal CDH play with Yuriko or Thorkel. The only concern I had is that in literally 0 out of my games so far, except like maybe one, conswings mattered. The only game I actually had a conswings in play was a game where I had a conswings, I roaming throned on conswings, and then still died to Nadu, which was very, very sad. So I'm not sure whether reanimator is actually the good thing about the deck, or whether the good thing about the deck is just bootload tribal. Because yes, conswings and Jin are maybe good backup reanimator cards, but maybe they're not worth it, because you go down the rabbit hole of also playing Putrid Imp, and you play the Kushi Sciencer, which is not really downgrade, it's also really good. But you get to play Putrid Imp just for playing a discard outlet, which if you remember in my games, I actually mulliganed my first hand because my Putrid Imp wouldn't have gotten through really. So the argument for Jin Gataxias is obviously if you get a turn, like a turn 1 Imp seal and then turn 2 Entop reanimate, Jin Gataxias is by far the best card to get. Because if it's unanswered, you at least get a 7. And if your opponents can like, oh, I'm gonna do a turn 2 heuristic study or turn 2 commander, they're all screwed. So in goldfishing, obviously that comes up. But I don't know if it's worth it, and whether in the hypothetical scenario of conswings, you just going for conswings also wins you the game similarly. Which I don't think so. I think Jin is way better in this scenario. But still, it's a dead card a lot of the time. The thing that Jin has going for it is that it's the highest mana value card in the deck, because we don't play Shadow of Mortality right now. But yeah, like I said, the only game where it mattered was this, where it got Noxious Revival on top. And I drew the 7 cards I would have drawn of it just for fun disease, and nothing of it would have answered the Ranger Captain and the Norse. I hit an MBT, but that doesn't also work against the first spell Norse, and also doesn't work against the Ranger Captain. And then for conswings, the argument is that it's just a good reanimation target. Like one of the play patterns is discarding a reanimation target to hand size and reanimating it. And it's also kind of easy to hardcast. Like bootload, you can hardcast. You technically only need 10 mana for the combo, but you can convoke all of it. But conswings, you really can hardcast. Like you can cast a turn 3 in one of my goldfishes. I actually had a turn 2 conswings. And maybe it's decent enough for this, but I'm not sure, because drawing 6 cards a turn cycle is powerful, but Yuriko sucks, so maybe it's not powerful enough if everyone bands up against you and you don't really have a board and draw a lot of shitty cards that only work when you have a good board. I'm not sure. So both Jin Gataxians and conswings didn't do anything, but yeah, in the testing games this happened a lot more, but culling the week, just accelerating a lot is really good. Like Nashi does work when you have these instant wins offer, like you do Nashi and Pier a lot. And bootload obviously is amazing as a combo. And the neat thing about this deck is that you can entomb for Dread Return. That's like the best thing, that if you have 2 entombs or if you have a reanimation target, then you can entomb with Dread Return, which is sick. Which is another point why you maybe want to have 3 reanimation targets, because with the entombs, you technically have 5 reanimation spells. So if some of your reanimation targets accidentally lands in the bin, you just sacrifice 3 creatures and get it back. Which, again, for conswings, I'm not sure if actually 3 creatures, average Yuriko creatures, are worth it against the conswings, honestly. But against the Jin, it's definitely worth it. Because in grinding mid-range games where no one has an answer, Jin just wins very easily. While conswings draw 6 cards, but still, people can fight with it. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. It's kind of funny how, like in the Jewel Lotus tournament, I was preaching Doomsday, and then I just only won because of my Specs pieces, which to be fair no one was playing at the time. But then now here, I was preaching, let's try some reanimator, and then my like 2 of my 3 wins were scheming symmetry. So yeah, I guess last takeaway was then play more stacks pieces, which now I didn't, so I guess I still played Norwood, which also some of you guys were off. But this takeaway is play scheming symmetry, else you're not gonna get such a sick turn 1 win. Like, you also all want to win on turn 1. Or maybe it's just the rock brain in me that just wants this turn 1 win so badly. But yeah, that was fun recording, and I'll stop talking now.